What have I forgotten? To eat my daily bread. I'm meditating, and it comes after that, and there's this explosion of recognition. Oh, my God, that's it. Why do we humans suffer? Why is David talking about his affliction? He's talking about what he had forgotten to do. He had forgotten to ask for his daily bread. He turned to God and said, God, I'm so unhappy. You see, when you focus on your affliction, whatever bothers you, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, loneliness, insecurity, fear, what's going to happen to the world, where's my next meal coming from, my next bus ride, whatever. Whatever it is we're worried about becomes a major affliction. If we worry about it, it engenders more energy. And then we attract that energy as human experience, circumstance, and condition, an event. So it struck me how powerful. He is presenting in a way that either we're ready to hear the truth behind what he's sharing, what seems so obvious, but what's really hidden behind that is that recognition. When I forget to eat my daily bread, when we're in love, you know about that. Remember puppy love? Oh, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I was miserable. She didn't, I mean, you know how it goes. Puppy love, oh my gosh. And then it repeats itself for a while, And you're so in love you can't eat, right? You say, oh, I can't, I don't have, it's an amazing glandular upheaval, upset. So or at other times we're so afflicted by something, so worried about it, so bothered by it, so sick that we lose our appetite. Well, imagine that this relates to what I see as the spiritual malaise. Our spiritual malaise, that spiritual illness, where we're so burdened by the feeling of alienation from our own beingness, or inner reality or source of Brahman, the supreme reality, which is beyond all concepts. That we cannot enjoy anything. Have you noticed that with the things you usually love and appreciate in your home, and you're happy to have them? Maybe you have an heirloom, your antiques and wonderful oil painting, Picasso. Should be so lucky. But when you're not feeling well, when you're deeply troubled, none of this satisfies. In other words, you've lost your appetite for it. Your interest in it is gone because you're dominated by your affliction. And here is the solution. Whatever the affliction is, what is it I'm forgetting in the midst of my affliction? To turn back to the source. To go within, the source within. To rise in consciousness through meditation, to rise above all concepts, to rise above this engendered feeling of separateness into that state of non-thinking, that non-verbal state of being. And we can do that by learning to be still. We have to discipline ourselves to that degree, to be still and know. For God is a still, small voice. And sit with that and listen. And say and pray, help me. What is it you would have me know? So the bread that I have to ask for my daily bread. Asking you shall receive. Right there, back to the beginning, opening remarks. And in the midst of asking to receive, we have to be sure that we don't stay in a mode of lack, but to give
But give thanks for the gift that's on the way, for the solution that's on the way, for the sustenance that's on the way. On all levels, physically and mental. What's bread for your body? Well, certainly our physical sustenance. But what about our mind? It needs noble values, ideas, ideals to feast on, to digest, to assimilate. Of what value is the bread if you don't eat it? Why pray for daily bread unless we plan to digest it, to assimilate it, to make it part of us? And what bread do you need for your heart every day? Love, sharing, compassion, beauty. Gosh, do we need beauty in our life? And it's all around us, it's everywhere. And then we need bread for the soul. We have all these other expressions of the truth. So what is the bread for our soul? Holy Communion. Nothing sweeter than Holy Communion. Inner communion with that divine presence. Being in the stillness, sitting with it, allowing it to flow through us, listening for its guidance, enjoying being in the stillness and the quietness. Be still and know, and then we partake of the bread of life. Be still and know that I am God, and that is the Lord.